the Lunch.Learn.Lead. Also, as you can see, we've got some amazing VIP investors. I would love for you all to let me know if it's something that you are interested in. I can send you all the information. Just such a great way to represent. This puts you everywhere the Better Business Bureau is. So let us know if you're interested in that. Next month, we've got Kim Beckham. We absolutely love Kim. Kim is just, oh man.
I'm glad I'm in front. I don't want to follow.
So make sure to mark your calendars for that as well. As you can see, also the VIP investors, they get their names everywhere on all of the graphics and artwork. This is what we're super excited about. Last year, Michelle, we had what, 38 teams? Mm-hmm. This year is going to be even bigger. There's some flyers over here with QR codes, or you can just zap it here if you would like.
We can only have 40 teams, so sign up soon.
Yeah, so and we're already at about 14, just FYI, so if y'all are interested. And then, of course, depending on the sponsorship level that you take, you can get customized.
Oh yeah, custom cards, and they did a great job.
So definitely on that. So there you go. We tried making it convenient for you, easy for you. There's a QR code. Again, thank you so much to our VIP investors for public services. We're so glad they sponsored this year. They're awesome people. Also, we're always looking for ambassadors to advocate on the BBB's behalf. But instill those same, of course, trustworthiness, honesty, integrity, which is what all of these businesses encompass. So we're always looking to recruit. Johnny's done very well. We've got numerous new ambassadors, and then we've got veteran ones that have been here for decades, which we love. Thank you for that. So here's the QR code. We'll give you more information, and I'm going to follow up with everyone in an email after all of this. So if y'all have any questions, I'm going to go through that. How's that? Okay. So, is John not here?
Hmm?
No.
I haven't seen John come in.
Oh, he didn't come in. That's okay. I can tell you all about this.
Okay, great.
Okay, all BBB accredited businesses do get a free commercial on 93.1. If you are interested in that, please let us know. It is a partnership with Town Square Media.
Yes.
And, so if you're interested, please reach out to me so I can set up, send you basically a calendar to when you can go record at the station. So they're only recording on Fridays. So there's, so free every Friday. It'll only take about 20 minutes to record the commercial. And it will air on 93.1.
Awesome. Thank you, Michelle. Such a great partnership with them, for sure.
Yes.
And then that's the next.
We also have a partnership with Screen Vision Media. If you like the idea of movie advertising, then you get 25% off if you are a BBB accredited business. So saves you about $100 a month on that. So that's a really good discount. So if that's something you want to do, and you can do it as short as 13 weeks and as long as 1 year, and you can pick the area that you want to advertise in. And people, we're all trying to stay out of the heat right now and wanting to go watch movies. So it's a great way to promote your business.
Correct. Limitless opportunities, y'all. Y'all need to definitely take advantage of that. So here we go. And to introduce, we're going to have our very own Johnny come on up here to introduce Mr. Jeff Johnson. Like he needs an introduction. Everybody knows who Mr. Johnson is.
Hey everyone, I'm John Gonzalez, the owner of Lemon Show Covers. I'll be the one introducing Mr. Jeff Johnson today. I didn't have much preparation on this, so I'm going to read off this paper. Normally I try to have this memorized, but Jeff is a graduate of the University of Arkansas on May 1976. He worked at Eastman Chemical for 33 years and finished his service in 2008 as Global Director of Safety, Health, and Ergonomics. Since 2009, Jeff has served as the owner-operator of Chick-fil-A in Orlando, Florida, and Tyler, Texas. Jeff married his high school sweetheart, Deborah, after graduating from the University of Arkansas in 1976. Jeff and Deborah have one daughter, Melissa, which is a speech and language pathologist, who is married to Jeff Leahy, an assistant principal administrator, and they have two wonderful grandkids, Sadie, 9 years old, and Camden, 8 years old. Jeff has been an active member of the Rotary for over 30 plus years. Jeff's membership began with the Longview South Rotary Club of Texas and includes Williamsport Rotary Club of Tennessee, Rotary Club of Orlando, Florida, and finally the South Tyler Rotary Club of Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Johnson.
You got your clicker, Johnny?
Where's your clicker?
I put it on the computer. I didn't
Thank
need
you,
it.
Johnny. Great job. You're good.
All my life, people leaving a T out of my name. I'm Johnston, not Johnson, my best friend.
I apologize.
I didn't say Johnson, did I?
You did. If you don't have that T, you don't have to enunciate it. But T, I spit. I'm from Arkansas. I chew. I spit. Chick-fil-A, Broadway Crossing. We're here to talk to you. We're the biggest Chick-fil-A in East Texas. 18
Yes.
Chick-fil-A's in the greater from Lufkin, Palestine, all the way to Texas, and everywhere else. 18 stores, we're the biggest. Whoa, that's something kind of, can't do that one. We're not supposed to say that one's not running the way. Go ahead. Well, who founded Chick-fil-A? Somebody else. What?
Kathy.
What's Kathy?
Truett Kathy.
Truett Kathy. Yeah. Give him cards. Give him a card back here, ladies. Where is the corporate headquarters of Chick-fil-A? I want it. I just see one hand at a time. Rebecca. Where? Texas or Georgia? What was the third question, Sarah?
I took over those guys.
Okay, I'll do that. The Dwarf House Grill. Where was the first Chick-fil-A? See a hand up. See a hand up.
Heaven.
Ah, there's a good answer.
The Dwarf House Grill.
Okay, right here.
That's the way you do it.
Oh my God.
Pass the test. It was
funny.
up for 45 seconds.
That's
Okay.
funny.
Dwarf House Grill. We'll talk about that in a minute. That's kind of who I am, my wife and daughter and kids and whatever. Had 3 Chick-fil-A's. The first one was in Orlando, Florida, on Orange Avenue, right down from Fort Lee Hospitals. I did not have anything to do with the Disney, Orlando, and all that other kind of stuff. We had the medical district. We were there for about 6 years. And then Mr. King, who came here in 1983, ran until 2014, passed away that summer. And so the way Chick-fil-A works, the whole corporation owns it all. It's a privately held company. And so at that time, they take the site back and they decide who's the next door operator is. So they put them in the pool, I put my name in, and I was able to come here. So we took over the store right up in the top left-hand corner that was built in 1994. And we closed it. What date was it, ladies? You guys remember?
April.
Something like that. 2 months ago, we closed it at the end of April, and we opened our next store 4 days later. So we're right across the street, we're next to Cheese. Big change from us, we had 150 in our dining room there. Now we've got roughly 80.
Wow.
Half the seats, but we've got 3 dynamite drive-through lanes to come through. One of them is mobile food. In your age groups, none of you are as old as I am, so you're using the apps and all this mobile food kind of stuff. We'll talk about that. Now we're going to talk about the story of Chick-fil-A and what our purpose is, our process is, and kind of really the meat of it. Where do we get our people? How do we keep our people? How do we retain that and move on? Dwarf House Grill. Anybody know where that is? Well, Georgia, anybody know that? Right up on the southwest corner of Atlanta by the big Atlanta Hartsfield Airport. When that was started in the 40s, there was a big Ford Motor Company plant on one side, and something called Delta Airlines on the other side. Truett came out of the military, gave his brother, started a little business, ran 24 hours a day, 6 days a week. Middle of the night, he'd hear people in the gravel in the shift change, he'd go down and cook eggs and whatever it was. His brother was tragically killed in an airplane restaurant, and so he carried on. That's where they started Chick-fil-A sandwich. You still go to the Dwarf House Grill, it was rebuilt just last year, and now it's a multi-million-dollar facility. But you can get a brown something sandwich, so it's a roast beef sandwich. You get a lot of stuff that you don't get at a Chick-fil-A. But on the other side of that building is where Chick-fil-A started, and so you get roast beef on one side, and you're gonna get chicken on the other side. 1967, a lady that started working for Mr. Pruitt, he was the first person to go back and have a lady identified as a lady to run one of his businesses. So he went back and got a contract with her, and same contract that all of us use today. You run the business, he empowers you, he provides the facilities, the know-how, the resources, and all the money comes out of the Cathy family. And then they pick an operator to run it, and at the end, they split the profits. That started in 1967, the lady's passed away now, but it's kind of, it's forward thinking. Back then, not a lot of ladies were doing all of that. So, all about the chicken sandwiches. In about 1980, 82, they started moving away from just in the malls. They started creating something called an FSR, freestanding restaurant, with a drive-through operation. We were one of the first restaurants that had a drive-through operation.
Wow.
That was very critical to us during COVID. We found out that a lot of people went out of business. You may have a lot of friends, relatives. I'm sorry to say, you saw some of that, all of us did. Chick-fil-A thrived because we were ready with that drive-through. We were ready with a mobile app, and we pushed some things forward. And COVID actually caused us to increase sales and do things differently than we do today. Over 20 billion in sales as a privately held company. Privately held, we're on the third generation. S. Truett Cathy passed away approximately 8-9 years ago at the age of 94. His son, Dan Cathy, became the CEO 10 years before that. Truett was the chairman of the board at the time. And now the third generation, Dan's son, Andrew Truett Cathy, is the third generation as the CEO of our company. Internationally, we're in right now 49 of the states of America. Alaska is the last one, looking to get the distribution there. 3 years ago, we moved into Canada. I think we have 10 stores in Canada. Last year, we moved into Puerto Rico.
Wow.
We have plans to put 5 to 6 stores in Singapore, using that as an Asian hub. This year, they will also move to Great Britain, also in the possibly some of Northern Europe. So, growing internationally. Our purpose statement. All of you are about serving people or making money. Chick-fil-A, I was very blessed to be part of Eastman Chemical for 33, almost 34 years. Ended up as the global director of safety health work all over the world. My dad was a fireman, so being in charge of safety and emergency response was a great thrill to me. But our purpose at Eastman Chemical was to be the biggest, the best, the most productive, and the most proficient Eastman fine chemical company in the world. We were part of Eastman Kodak for 74 years. They spun us off, and Kodak's bankrupt, and Eastman Chemical was doing fabulous. But it was all about making money. All about making money, returning investment to your investors. The Cathy family owns 100% of Chick-fil-A. It's not publicly held, it's privately held and kept by stock. So they look for ways that they can invest. In the mid-80s, Mr. Cathy and his family bought 75 acres adjacent on the southwest side of the Hartsville Airport. That's where the headquarters are now. At that time, some of you might remember, we kind of got into some recession. Things started getting tight. Interest rates went up 14-15%. Sales starting to flat. And they started to worry about, we're going to be able to make the debts. They had some long thinking about what we're going to do. How we're going to trim cuts. And they came up with a very simple purpose statement. So since 1985, so whatever that is, almost 20 years later, we still live by this purpose statement. Lord by God, by being a faithful steward of all that's entrusted us, and to be a positive influence on all that come in contact with Chick-fil-A. Lord by God, faithful steward, positive influence. Daily operations. When we think about our operations, we're basically built on 3 periods. We've added the 4th one, but the first one, operational excellence. When you eat at a Chick-fil-A, when you go to a Chick-fil-A, when you get served at a Chick-fil-A, our goal is to make sure that they're all consistent. They're all good all the time. We came out with a concept of all right. Not just all right, but all right. everything is all right. So your sandwiches are consistent, hopefully the back one, the front one, Seattle, Singapore, wherever it may be. They're all gonna be cooked the same way. We have internal checks where we check ourselves. We've got corporate checks that come to check us. We've got third parties that check us. And we've got checkers of the checkers that check us. We get checked so many times every day, we get audited by somebody. But it is to be sure that when we bread that chicken, every piece of chicken that comes into Chick-fil-A is freshly frozen. We take and break the membrane. You want to call it flaying it or butterflying it, but they can go flat. We come back with that egg coating, we put a milk batter with that, it comes back and fried. Everything is fresh every day. So that's consistent at every store, so it's always the same. Operational excellence is looking at all those procedures, practices, and policies to ensure that we are consistent. Second mile service, you've done that. Something in the Bible talks about when you see somebody hurting, pick that up, you go the next mile. The second mile is saying don't stop at the first mile, go the second mile. So Chick-fil-A, our goal is to say, what can I do to help you? Not, can I get that for you? No, let me get that for you. I still challenge our staff every day when we're involved in what are we doing to go the second mile. If I see somebody carrying a bag of food out, I gotta jump up and go talk to somebody because our goal is you gotta basically hit us to get that bag out of our hands. Because our goal, other than your lunch bag, if it is a platter or something like that, we're supposed to take that. That is our goal. Second mile service. Emotional connections and marketing, we want to be to the point that anything that we can do to serve our community. We end up with these ladies up here looking at birthdays and looking at anniversaries and looking at situations. We had a situation several years ago when a man turned 90 years old. We had a great birthday party for him, and his family came, and his wife doesn't like to be in the pub. Well, she came, but we couldn't get her to leave. So much. Now he's 92 years old and he's still talking about that.
Aww.
But that emotional connections in the marketing, so when you think about service, when you're talking about great food, you automatically think about Chick-fil-A. 3 years ago, Chick-fil-A added the fourth dimension. We want to be known as the world's most caring company. We're all about chicken, but we're also all about people. Mr. Cathy says everybody's got to be hungry. You got to serve people. That's what we're about. And when you look at demographics of what we do, we want to be sure that we are consistently caring for everybody in our community, regardless of race, color, sexual orientation, religion. We're not selling chicken. We don't want to talk about that other stuff. We want to talk chicken and make sure that you're served right. People. Mr. Cathy would always say, we're not just in the chicken business, we're in the people business. Many of the young people that come to work for us end up staying. My general manager is in his 40th year. He started at 14. I have several others that are in the 30-plus years that are working, the night manager and the evening manager. Come on through here.
Oh, Mr. Johnston.
Thank you. She's a good pupil. She's learning.
She is. She's very teachable. She's very teachable.
This lady on the right-hand side, my left-hand side, your left-hand side, my right, whatever it is, we have something called an Inspiration Award for scholastic achievement. And so we have had over $85 million, I believe is the number, over a shared period of years that Cathy family have given to scholarships to various people. We also have the Inspiration Award on the right side, where various nonprofit entities in the food, people, training, service industries, one of those four, are identified in the community nationwide, and we reinforce them with a reward, a minimum of $30,000, all the way up to $150,000. 2 years ago, we submitted, 3 years ago, we submitted, 2 years ago, I know it's Breckenridge Village. We got $100,000. This last year, how much? $125,000 to the food bank.
Nice.
We've now submitted Bethesda. We're praying that we'll get them on there. So we're 3 years in a row. So actually, we're in the fourth year because Goodwill was in front of that, $75,000 on the top of that. So we're about the people side. Come on. This thing is dead. Okay. Somebody help me. You broke me. Computer's dead.
I didn't break it.
You missed the teeth.
Hey, Chris, can you take over for me, please?
Michelle, what do you think?
Michelle, come help her.
Thanks to all of our friends joining us Facebook Live as well. Forgot to thank y'all. Thank y'all for being here.
Computer's frozen, so now we've got a computer operator up here. There we go. No. There we go. Thank you.
Is that where you want to be?
That's it, yeah.
There you go.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
What would we
Michelle.
do without Michelle, my belt?
We'll hurry up and go through here. When we think about the demographics of who we serve, it's not only who we serve, but who we also recruit for our team members. They help us develop our strategies so that the market that we serve at the store right over here on Broadway is totally different than the market of my good friend Ike Easton over on Troop Highway, totally different than my friend Joshua Johnson up in Glendale. If you look at all three of those, the demographics, the one over here on Troop Highway, they've got a lot of collegiate people and a lot of folks going back and forth to the medical center. The one in Glendale, they got a tremendous amount of interstate traffic. Ours is more of a bedroom community, as well as the industries and the schools and whatever. Ours is more collaborative, all of those groups, where the others are more specialized. Knowing where we serve, the demographics, hold those up. When we look at our market, we try to look at what are we doing to be sure that our team represents the customers. When I came 10 years ago, I had a very strong team, but there was one thing wrong with it. We did not represent the customers when you came to the counter. We had a very strong, happened to be a black team, and happened to be a lot of Hispanic. Very little Caucasian. Strong working, but now you come into our store, it's almost a third. And that's more representative of what our market is. We will also have a number of retired people or older people. Thank goodness they hire some older people to let us continue working, because guess what? We've got a lot of aged people come in retired and they won't come and eat good food. But we look at that situation to design our marketing program, also to identify when we're working with Sarah to recruit people. We actually go out and try to look at, hey, we don't really have X. We need some X. I don't know what X may be, but it represents what our community and what our market is. Where do we get our people? How do we keep them? As I said, most of our food industry in the world, especially in America, it's the first job. It's where they come to work and they earn enough money to buy that first car, or in some cases they get kicked out of the house pretty quick, or they have to make money, and they come to Chick-fil-A to work. But guess what? Many of them stay. And they stay, and they stay. People that are in my role, 75% of the Chick-fil-A operators started at Chick-fil-A. That's their first job. You got Troop Highway, you got Glendale, my best friend in Longview, he's in 43 years with Chick-fil-A, his dad was the operator here. The only job they've ever had. But praise the Lord, thank you. Chick-fil-A does try to diversify. They bring some of us folks from outside that bring in knowledge, experience, wisdom, another way of doing things. Chick-fil-A's been very, very strong in the military. And the guy at Palestine is a lieutenant colonel in the Army, still in the reserves. The guy at the mall is a Marine. But many of my friends that come from outside are former pastors, religious leaders. A few are school teachers, some of us are engineers, but 75% of the people that are in my role started there. They continue to grow. First impressions. Look at all that. Setting the tone. You got one chance to get it right. With our customers, when you come across the door, when we hire somebody, we want to get it right the first time. Mr. Kathy would never fire anybody. He was there until he was 94 years old. And even the executives that would go back with Kathy, we got a problem with Jeff. He's messed up. Well, it's your problem. His thought was that you could never be sure that the next person that you're gonna hire is better than the one that you're getting rid of. You are investing the time, the energy, the money of that person. It is your job to make them better, not to run them off. So think about that where you got. What are you doing to ensure that your folks don't cause a mess up? With us, we will basically rework and retrain and continue to enhance and try to make people better time and time and time again. With the exception, if you steal, if you lie, you disrespect. Any of those three are immediate, as we call it, self-termination. We did terminate you, we messed up yourself. And I'm sad to say, when you think about stealing, we automatically think about money. But in our industry, just like yours, it's how they use that time. It's stealing the food. I provide $10 a day for meal privileges and all the drinks. If they work 2 shifts, then they get another $10.
Wow.
And we challenge those folks as we talk to them. If you're hungry, I told every one of them, if you're hungry at the end of the day, you come to me. I'll feed you. I don't want anybody to go home hungry. I don't want them to be fat like me, but I want them to be nourished, encouraged, reinforced. But sad to say, we still have a few people. Over my 15-year career, I've had 3 people that we have terminated because they stole food. 2 of them in leadership positions.
Wow.
One of those was a situation, hey, I'm gonna buy you, I take care. I allow our folks to reinforce. At Deanna, Sarah, they're able to reinforce people to make their day. They can do that. That's not stealing. But if they find something, if they're taking something out of the car or whatever it may be, they're gonna be stealing. But we gotta protect the brand, protect the recipe. When I graduated from Chick-fil-A charter school, 7.5 weeks, I was given 2 charges. You protect the brand, you protect the recipe. So we want consistency, we want continuity, and I think about the legacy of the King family. Sandra King's still alive 10 years after her husband died, so she's still in our restaurant almost every day. Little silver-headed lady, very opinionated. She doesn't like that we don't have carrot whiz and salad and coleslaw and lemon pie, and she definitely doesn't like our new restaurant because she can't see the people. We don't necessarily like some of that stuff too, but we don't control that. She's still very opinionated, but she's protecting our brand because what has she done through the years? Our first impressions. Growing the legacy. The legacy is that brand. Think about what you've done in life, and as I know John and the Fun Rotary Club, one of the things we're trying to say in Rotary is what we're doing at the end of your life, at the end of your career. You want that to carry on, but you want to be remembered for it. If you're the most dynamic speaker, or you're the worst speaker, you eat too much, whatever you may be. You want to be whatever in that direction. When we look at our store, throw those up, we got that first impression to get it right. I'm sad to say, because as busy as we are, you're going to find situations that we got stuff on the floor. Tables are not clean. Bathrooms haven't been sanitized. But please, all you got to do is ask us. Find somebody with a uniform on and say, can you clean this table? We've got somebody assigned to do it. They're probably off doing something else. But our challenge is that first impression. The platform from which Sarah is able to hire people is making that first impression to put them in the right place at the right time. When I look at Deanna in marketing, she's working to ensure that continuity, that consistency, that legacy is going on, that's built on respecting each and everybody that comes in our restaurant. I had a situation the other day where somebody said they're not going to come see me because some of the words that went out about Chick-fil-A in our platform on gay marriages and whatever. You know, and we quickly try to diffuse that and say, we're about selling chicken. try to sidestep that subject because I've got many friends all over the world that are all different kinds of sizes and shapes and religions and religious preferences and whatever it may be. But I'm about selling chicken. And in our restaurant, if you're ever disrespected, I don't know about it. Or at any Chick-fil-A, because we're about selling chicken and serving people. So we have to be respectful, we have to be attentive, we have to be responsive. Sometimes we can't do it as quick as you would like it to be. Please remember, I've got 25 to 2,800 transactions in it every day. That's a lot of people in one registrar. If you send us a note, we messed up this morning at 10, my goal is to be sure we try to respond to you this day before the day's out. We try to recover that. Because guess what? If you have been recovered and we resolve that issue, you're going to go tell somebody about it. But if we don't, you tell somebody who tells somebody who tells somebody who tells somebody else, we're totally out of control. Foundation of long term. When we talk about hiring people, we've got something called the core four. Since Sarah hires people, they go through something, and you'll see it on here in a minute. It's a commercial package that they'll go through and answer some questions. You may be the best XYZ, whatever XYZ, cook. You may be the best fry cook. You may be the best on the computers. But if you don't have the eye contact, smiling, speaking with enthusiasm, and staying connected, you're not going to get hired. Because you can't look somebody in the eye and stay with them in the eye until they get treated. You're going to be like one of those other restaurants. Here today, gone tomorrow. When we look at how we hire people, we use team members. One of the things that Sarah does is trying to get our team members to find family friends, neighbors, church friends, school friends, because our people continue to perpetuate. We hire the best people we can, and we ask them to help us repopulate and grow, and that's been very, very successful for us. We get asked, where do you get some people? How did you do that? Because she works her tail off looking at those applications all online and trying to decide, is this person good or not? She will interview after we've already had somebody screened. We'll have management involved, and we'll have a final interview. The leadership, but it all runs through this lady right here. Two ladies right here is the one that runs our business. Thank you, ladies. Growing talent. Talent manager, workflow. You used to have something called snag a job. You ever heard of that before? So you all got jobs. You don't have to do that. If you got friends that are looking for a job, you got to find a job. Where are those jobs? Snag a job is the way. You can sign it up. Boyd's going to send it out. We found that workflows work much better for us. Sarah, how many people you got in your file in the pipeline at one time? 5, 10?
Probably like 10, 12.
So we've always got a pipeline of people that she's always interviewing. Right now, we're fully staffed. We don't have a problem in the summertime, folks. Why? Because all your college kids are here. People are returning home. They want a job, and they're going to say they're going to work with you forever, but guess what? First week in August, second week in August, they're gone. Well, they come back, well, I want to work Christmas again. Well, you're going to help me? Yeah, I'm going to stay this time. Well, 2 weeks, and they're gone. So we're constantly perpetuating, rehiring, and moving that forward. Social media. These two ladies have forgotten more about social media than they'll ever know. I'm old school. Big Chief tab, number 2 pencil. But I'm also an engineer, and I've written a lot of script and written a lot of programs, and I can bore you to death with all the programs that I've done through the years. So I know the IT world, and that social movement. Rebecca back here, it's unbelievable how she can take my words and make them look good. It takes some good people like that, Rebecca. Thank you. The existing talent, like I said, we'll perpetuate that and move forward. We try to enhance and improve our folks. When we got here in 2014, it's not public information, but I share it, but our average wage was $7.42 an hour 10 years ago. What is it today? What's somebody guess?
14.
What? Right at 18.
What? 18?
$18 an hour. We start at $14, $15 an hour. Evening shifts gives more than day shifts. Within the first 90 days, you have the ability to add at least $1 an hour or more to that. But in addition, $10 a day for food. We provide uniforms, and we have all kinds of reinforcement we try to do to get them involved. We've got something called Pathway. In years past, it would be a video training, and then it would be a CD, but now it's all streaming video. We tie that textbook knowledge to on-the-job knowledge, to verification, and once they've done that, they're able to move up. Sarah is in charge of all that in the business. Leadership, subject matter experts. Have you ever been in a situation that you feel like that you can't grow because there's no spot at the top? All the bosses have already got jobs. It's happened to me a lot alone. And I work in the chemical industry where you got tons of people, but you only got one shift supervisor. Or you got an accounting department where my wife worked with 85 to 100 accountants in Longview, and they only have 4 supervisors. So how do you grow? How do you do? We have tried to use a concept that I've learned from other people, but they're subject matter experts. Those people are able to grow and be compensated at the same level as a leader, a crew leader, a manager, but they're the expert of a particular task, a function, a responsibility to make that happen. They're not responsible for people, but they're the ones when we get new people to come through to shadow, to encourage, to nurture, to help that next person. Because if you've been like with me with the old traditional on-the-job training, if Deanna gets stuck with me, she's gonna not be nearly as good as she got with Tim back here. Tim's a lot better than I ever thought about being, and she's gonna rub off from him versus getting a lower scale person that doesn't know very much. So it's all dependent on that, but with a combination of textbook type knowledge, computer activated, validation, nurturing, coaching, everybody gets some better. We try to retain our talent. When I got here in 2014, we had 4 people in leadership. We've got 30, what is it now, 32, 34, somewhere in that number now. So a whole lot more. Our bench is a lot deeper. So years ago, if one of those 4 had gone, we're in serious trouble. Now, we can take the top 10 out, and we're still very progressive. Very good. Promoting, see a bunch of information there. We've got some talent manager responsibilities that she's going to work with to make that happen. We're going to have a pipeline. I just asked her how many people are in the pipeline. So we're always trying to train. Are we as good today as we're going to be? Heck no. With what these ladies are doing and the team that they're working with, they're going to make us much, much better. So I challenge you to always be looking who can do your job. I've made a mistake in my life of becoming too good at a task. And I got stuck in that task for 5 years. I don't want to be that good anymore. I want to be the one that empowers and have multiple people so that I can go on and do something else. The best flattery that I can get is that you can do the job much better than me. My dad was a fireman. He was very good with his hands. He didn't have great education. Eventually got a GED. But he was a carpet layer, a carpenter, a roofer, anything he could do it with his hands. I learned that trade with him. So I'm a pretty good manager. I'm a pretty good engineer, but I'm the best carpet layer you'll ever know. I learned the task and I beat my dad all the time. Doing that for 35 years, at the end of 35 years, I'm still the best carpet layer. My dad trained me and at least 10 other people, and we all became better than him. I challenge you. That's the approach that I want. And I want to be, so that these ladies up here and the other staff members, there's mostly ladies, that they're all better than I am. So that they work hard, they play hard, and when at the end of the day, they're going to be better than they were when they got here. Ongoing. Last slide. We're trying to drive the apps. Everything you do is driven by apps today. I see your phone, take pictures and all that kind of stuff. You got to drive an app. If you come to Chick-fil-A, roll across and at third outside range to the app. Order on the app, roughly a third of our operations now are using the apps. So you order it, you pay for it, you come around, and when you trigger the QR code, it tells us that you're here, the kitchen has it ready. The first person you see is going to bring it out to you. So you say what you want, you say how you want it, you pay for it. All that interaction says, what did you say? I thought you said cheese, but you really wanted mayo? I don't know. So, you know, we got that, it speeds up the process. So our goal is to have more and more of that type, but at the same time, we've got 2 primary lanes that are still face-to-face. So we've got team members that are out there from 7 to 9, taking orders every day. Even with the rain, we got people who are big, brand new canopies. If the lightning's not strike within 10 miles, we're gonna be outside. But if lightning's down, we're not gonna be outside. We've gotta protect the guys and girls. Always closed on Sunday. Mr. Cathy and his wife made that commitment in the 1980s when they came up with their personal statement. Their 2 sons and a daughter made a covenant with their parents in 1990 that they would follow that they would always be closed on Sunday, and they'd always be a privately held company. The 3rd generation, 24 of them, had made that commitment with their parents. So at least for the time being, for the next X number of years in my lifetime, we're gonna be a private company. We're gonna be global, but we'll always be closed on Sunday. Wrap up. Questions? Comments? These girls are gonna answer every question you got. Questions for me, anybody? Yes?
Just comment, I just want to say my pleasure.
Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Anybody? Sir?
Do you still have the Chick-fil-A Leadership Institute?
We have the Leader Academy. It's called the Leader Academy. We're in 5 schools here. Legacy, Tyler High, Brook Hill, All Saints, and Bourne. I believe those are 5. Maybe Bourne now. But that is a program that we work with an instructor in one of those campuses and have a curriculum that we go back and they go through. We provide all the tools, the training, we feed them, and they have a project. And many of those have made a bunch of differences in the world. But we just finished the 10th year. I just saw that on the wire here this last week, 10th or 15th year, one of those 2, that it's been going on. But thank you for asking that. Anything else? Yes, ma'am, with a T.
So, quick question, I mean, is each franchise owner, can you only own one franchise? And what is the waiting list as far as trying to become a franchise owner? What is that process?
Thank you very much.
See there?
I don't know. They're roughly 3,000 locations.
Wow.
Each of them are run by an owner-operator. And there's a contract with Chick-fil-A that I signed, not me and my wife, give you an example. The reason I say that, Ed King and Sandra King came here in the early 80s at the mall. They built our store on Broadway. Sandra stayed, ran the mall. Ed ran Broadway, then he got the Troop store. They gave up the mall. She ran one, he did the other, but when he died, she wasn't able to continue because the contract was with him. Now, she could apply, she decided she didn't want to do that. So the model is based one store, one person. And for roughly 45, 50 years, that was the rule. Now, roughly 15 to 20% of the operators have 2. Again, 80% are still single. And there is a handful that have 3. Roger Clark is a very, very influential guy that has the one in Mesquite, 40, and Sunnyvale. So all 3 of them on Highway 80. Does tremendously well, but he's got 3. His brother had 3 in Fayetteville, Rogers, and Springdale. He died of an aneurysm, and so somebody else has those. But very seldom does it happen now. Most, we used to be in the top 100, now we're probably the top 300, because some of the stores, primarily in the northeast and California, Northwest, their pay systems are different. You pay more for a sandwich there than you do here. Therefore, the dollars that they make are different than mine. But if you look at transactions, we're still in the top 100. There's a guy, Jesse Chahula's down in Houston. He's got a couple of stores, but he's also has the Reliance Stadium, so he's got the Astros and the football team and all that. He does unbelievably well. He does more catering than he does inside the store. or just about as much. So very
Wow.
good question. But the way it is, every year, last year they had somewhere between 70 and 75,000 applications.
Wow.
75,000. When I went through, I applied in 99. I was still in Longview at Eastern Chemical. I moved corporate. I got approved, and I got my first store in 2009. 10 years.
Wow.
But in reality, it was a 2-year cycle. 2 years later, they offered me one, but I already moved to Tuscaloosa as a site manager. I put it on hold for 8 years, and then got the store. You typically know for 2 years or less. So 75,000 apply. Now it's a streaming Zoom interview process. If you end up going to Atlanta, you already passed the first 2, 3, 4 gates, and you may get there. And if you have a spouse, like my wife, I've gone through all these interviews, and finally she ended up going with me to Atlanta, and she didn't realize that she was going to get interviewed too, because as I sat down with Dan Cathy and learned a lot from him, I said, Dan, it took me 10 years to get a franchise. He said, well, you didn't marry your wife on your first date, did you? It took me 5 years for her to finally convince me that I wanted to marry her.
Uh-oh. I have it recorded.
But, he said the relationship we have with Chick-fil-A, we have very, very, very few people ever leave. They stay for life. It is that kind of relationship. Now, financially, the requirements to be an operator, it went up 100%. 100%. It used to be $5,000, now it's $10,000.
Wow.
That's what it costs to be an operator. If you're selected, you put $10,000 an administrative paperwork fee. Mr. King, when he died, he got his $5,005 and he got $10,000 back. His wife got it. Not with interest. You got the basic money back. Now, again, he raised and he created a multi-million-dollar business that the Cathy family's been able to grow and use people all around the world. But he did not build any asset that he had for himself. So it behooves me to invest in the community, invest in lives. I'm blessed with good health. I know how to talk too much, I'm sorry. But as God gives me the opportunity, I'm going to continue to work because it allows me to invest in lives and do more. So that's where I am. That's all I got. Thank you.
Yeah.